Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Jandera. I'm Geraldine, and tonight we're reading the Amplified Bible when we're looking at Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 through to partway through chapter 2. So, the conception and birth of Jesus. Now, the birth of Jesus Christ was as follows. When his mother Mary had been betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be with child by the power of the Holy Spirit. And Joseph, her promised husband, being a just and righteous man, and not wanting to expose her publicly to shame, planned to send her away and divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, descendant of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child who has been conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall name him Jesus. The Lord is salvation, for he will save his people from their sins. All this happened in order to fulfill what the Lord had spoken through the prophet Isaiah. Behold, the virgin shall be with child, and give birth to a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which when translated means God with us. That's in Isaiah 7 verse 14. Then Joseph awoke from his sleep, and did as the angel of the Lord had commanded him, and he took Mary to his home as his wife. But he kept her a virgin until she had given birth to a son, her firstborn child, and he named him Jesus. The Lord is salvation. Matthew chapter 2. The visit of the Magi. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, Herod the Great, Magi, wise men, from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. So he called together all the chief priests and the scribes of the people and anxiously asked them where the Christ, the Messiah, the Anointed, was to be born. And they replied to him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for this is what has been written by the prophet Micah. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not in any way least among the leaders of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. That's in Micah chapter 5 verse 2. Then Herod secretly sent for the Magi and learned from them the exact time the star had first appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, Go, search carefully for the child, and when you have found him, report to me, so that I too may come and worship him. After hearing the king, they went their way, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went on before them, continually leading them the way, until it came and stood over the place where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And after entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then, after opening their treasure chests, they presented to him gifts fit for a king of gifts, of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned by God in a dream not to go back to Herod, the Magi left to their own country by another way. The flight to Egypt. Now when they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Get up, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod intends to search for the child in order to destroy him. So Joseph got up and took the child and his mother, while it was still night, and left for Egypt. He remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet Hosea. Out of Egypt I called my son. Hosea 11 verse 1. Herod slaughters the babies. Then Herod, when he realized that he had been tricked by the Magi, was extremely angry, and he sent soldiers and put to death all the male children in Bethlehem and in all that area who were 2 years old and under, according to the date which he had learned from the Magi. Then what had been spoken through Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be comforted, because they were no more. Jeremiah 31 verse 15. But when Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and go to the land, for those who sought the child's life are dead." Then Joseph got up and took the child and his mother and came into a land of Israel. But when he heard Archelaus was ruling over Judea in place of his father, Herod the Great, he was afraid to go there. Then, being warned by God in a dream, he left for the region of Galilee, and went and settled in the city called Nazareth. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophets. He shall be called a Nazarene. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's reading. Bless you. Have a Merry Christmas.